Now is the time, if you can hear, to heed the call, to make your choice for once and all. Now is the time, now and for all eternity, to seek the sacred reality. There's a choice to be made for all eternity. Maat, truth and righteousness for you and me. Maat is the way. Maat is the spirit. Maat is the way to make the brighter day. If we'll just live it, there's a choice to be made for all eternity. Maat, truth and righteousness for you and me. Maat is justice, righteousness and truth. Maat is the spirit of Amen Rock for me and you. The time has come, but we must make the change for truth. Our lives rearranged. Maat is the way. Maat is the spirit. Maat is the way to make the brighter day. If we'll just live it, there's a choice to be made for all eternity. Maat, truth and righteousness for you and me. There's a choice to be made for all eternity. Maat, truth and righteousness for you and me. Maat, truth and righteousness. Maat, truth and righteousness. Maat, truth and righteousness for you and me. Maat, truth and righteousness. Maat, truth and righteousness. Maat, truth and righteousness for you and me. There's a choice to be made for all eternity. Maat, truth and righteousness for you and me. Maat, truth and righteousness for you and me.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, real nice, Jeff.
I just want to let everybody know that there is an organization that goes around the country that is livicated, not dedicated, but livicated to Maat. Practicing Maat not only in words, but in deeds and in action. Baba Jeff, that was a great video. And I know what, making a video, all of the things that goes with it. And so that is truly an excellent way to start our service this morning. Glad to see all your smiling faces. See Baba Ustadi giving us a hand clap. Give thanks for that. Mama Fanya, Sister Saraswati, Darnisha, all of the beautiful people, them. All right. In the Hosea, it says this. We find these words. Hope everybody can see that. Number 2, it says, pour libation for your father and mother who rest in the valley of the dead. God will witness your action and accept it. Do not forget to do this even when you are away from home. For as you do for your parents, your children will do for you also. I want to open with this libation video, and then Brother Wasuf is going to come and pour libation for us this morning. Of course, and we want to encourage everyone to come to our intercessory prayer on Mondays and Fridays from 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. to help us lift up the vibrations for prayer for our immediate community of Wose and our community throughout the diaspora. And this will be put in the chat. This is the Zoom ID that you need, or the phone number to join us. We'll say Elders Meeting will be tomorrow, September 9th. And it's not only for Wose elders of Sacramento, but also anyone that would like to join us and to lend your voice or make a contribution to our betterment. So we invite you all to come. Brother Wayne Chandler will be our guest for Black Knowledge Matters, Wednesday, September 11th. I wonder what he's going to talk about. And also, Brother Wayne has a Alchemy of Inner Empowerment retreat in Costa Rica, December 13th through 21st. And there's an early bird $500 off if you use that code Alchemy500. And I'm sure he'll say more about that on Wednesday. Women of Wosay are going to meet. They're going to have their meeting in October. So your sisters will be looking forward to that. Mama Darnisha, go ahead. I see your hand up. Go ahead. You're muted. I don't know if you realize.
Sorry, it's so difficult for me on my cell phone to find the buttons to unmute myself. It is like one of my biggest challenges. I don't know what, there's a trick to it. I'm going to find a young person to teach me the trick. So now let's see, I've stressed myself so with that I've forgotten my announcement. What was I going to say? I have forgotten.
It's important, I know. You can come in later and
give me 1 second. I'm having a senior moment here.
Okay, I tell you what, let's play a song and then it should give you some time to come in. Let's see. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead. Oh, I see what you mean. Never mind. That was a little personal thing. I thought I was. Hey, let's look. Let's check out some Wosay through the years, and Mama Darnisha will get this. Okay, did it come back to you?
It did.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, just wanted to announce that I will be facilitating a Ghana tour in December, affectionately in Ghana known as Dirty December. Um, so if there is anyone who is interested, my goal was to have this flyer ready by this morning, but it's just been a busy week. So in the next few days, I'll publish something. But the dates are going to be around the 16th to around the 28th, 11 days. I'm still confirming price. It's going to be the ground part will be somewhere between 2,600 and possibly up to 3,000. 26 was last year's price, so I need to double check hotel prices. And those of you who know Kwame Natoto, he is facilitating a big Kwanzaa celebration on December the 26th for the first day of Kwanzaa. So encourage you all to participate and enjoy that Kwanzaa celebration in the beautiful Cape Coast region of Ghana. That's it. That's my announcement.
All right. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Going once, going twice. All right. We're going to move on now to our community affirmation with Mama Celeste and Minister Bill.
Good morning, Jose.
Good morning.
We will
Good
know
morning.
God's truth to be free and self-determined.
Creator, help us to remember the humanity, glory, and suffering of our ancestors and to honor the struggles of our elders.
Let us strive to bring new vision and life to our people. Let there be peace and harmony among us.
Let us be loving, sharing, and creative. Let us work, study, and listen so we may learn, teach, and cultivate self-reliance.
Grant us power, O Holy One, as we struggle to resurrect our hearts and our homeland.
We will raise our children according to the needs of our nation. With discipline, patience, devotion, and courage, we will strive to be the living models of the new direction of our people.
We are an African people.
We are children of God. Ashe.
Thanks. Thanks.
Ashe.
I want to emphasize one of those stanzas in the affirmation. I love that one that says, let us be loving, sharing, and creative. Let us work, study, and listen so we may learn, teach, and cultivate self-reliance. That's a beautiful one. Minister Makalisi, there's a song in that. All right, so I just thought I'd throw that out there. All right, and now next on our program, there's our historical tribute is coming up, and Baba Jeff has a great one. And Baba Jeff, I wasn't sure if I'm going to play the song before the tribute or you. Forgive me for not.
I'll play the song right now. I'm going to play the song for you.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh. If you want to live a good life, the good life, the way is Maat. If you want to live a good life, the good life, the way is Maat. If you want to live a good life, the good life, the way is Maat. If you want to live a good life, the good life, the road is Maat. Truth, justice, and righteousness, reciprocity and beauty, peace, balance, and harmony is the way it should be. Truth, justice, and righteousness, reciprocity and beauty, peace, balance, and harmony is the way it should be. If you want to live a good life, the good life, way is my out if you want to live a good life, a good life. The road is my out if you want to live a good life, the good life. The way is my out if you want to live a good life, the good life. The road is my out. So much trouble in the world today. So many have lost the way. Read, study, listen to the wise. We want to live the good life with purpose and devotion, intention and discipline, with faith and unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility is the key. If you want to live the good life, the good life, the way is my out. If you want to live the good life, the good life, the way is my out. If you want to live a good life, the good life, the way is my out. If you want to live a good life, the good life, the road is my out. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh. Truth, justice, and righteousness, reciprocity and beauty, peace, balance, and harmony is the way it should be. Truth, justice, and righteousness, reciprocity and beauty, peace, balance, and harmony. That's the way it's got to be. The good life, the good life. The way is my out if you want to live a good life, the good life. The way is my out if you want to live a good life, the good life. The way is my out if you want to live a good life, the good life. The road is my out.
That one does make you want to get up and dance. Clapping the hands was not enough, huh, Baba?
Yeah.
#1 on the charts. That's the top ranking song. Give thanks.
I'm in Tep. Good day, Wose. Again, it is my honor to give the historical tribute today. The historical tribute is our continuing effort as a community to pay tribute to some significant, not necessarily famous person, place, or event in our history. Our commitment as a community is to keep alive in our hearts and minds at least 7 generations of our story. Be reminded that our ancestors and contemporaries did great things when they stayed connected to spirit, and continually remind ourselves that if we did great things once before, we can do great things again. We are also mindful if we don't take the time to honor what we have done, it will be forgotten. It is my pleasure to pay tribute to a most uplifting, inspiring, proud African woman and human being, Pauline Elizabeth Hopkins. Late 19th and early 20th century African American playwright, novelist, and columnist Pauline Elizabeth Hopkins was born in Portland, Maine in 1859. Hopkins was born to free parents who raised her in Maine for a short period before moving to Boston, Massachusetts. Her father, Northrop Hopkins, a Civil War veteran and member of Grand Army of the Republic, was born in Alexandria, Virginia. Her mother, Sarah Allens Hopkins, was a native of the greater Boston area. At age 16, Hopkins began her career as a stage performer, debuting with the Progressive Musical Union, a Boston choral group. 2 years later, in 1877, Hopkins was selected to be the lead actress in the stage production of Pauline or the Belle of Saratoga. By 1879, Hopkins and her family created the Hopkins Colored Troubadours, a musical troupe that accompanied her on national tours where she starred in musical dramas, including ones she wrote. Her original first play, Slaves Escape, or The Underground Railroad, which later became Peculiar Sam, opened in Boston in 1880. Hopkins was only 21 at the time. In 1895, Hopkins took on a position of employment as a stenographer in the Bureau of Statistics for the Massachusetts decennial census. However, writing remained her passion, and in 1900, she authored her first piece of published fiction, The Mystery Within Us, which appeared in Colored American magazine. By 1902, Hopkins had become the editor of Colored American. It was during Hopkins' association with the Colored American magazine that scholar Pero Gaglo Dagbovi writes in the Journal of African American History that Pauline Hopkins was the single most productive black woman writer at the turn of the 20th century. From 1900 until 1905, Hopkins produced for publication 4 novels, 7 short stories, 1 brief self-published historical booklet entitled A Primer of Facts Pertaining to the Early Greatness of the African Race and the Possibility of Restoration by its Descendants, with epilogue in 1905. 24 biographical sketches in the Colored American magazine, and many essays, columns, and editorials. She has accurately been called by one scholar a performer, playwright, orator, novelist, journalist, short story writer, biographer, and editor. Hopkins' first and best-known novel, Contending Forces, establishes her as a serious novelist with clear objectives in her storytelling. In the preface of Contending Forces, Hopkins says, "In giving this little romance expression in print, I am not actuated by desire for notoriety or for profit, but to do all that I can in a humble way to raise the stigma of degradation from my race." Later in the preface, after noting the value and importance of writing fiction, she boldly states that no one will do this for us. We must ourselves develop the men and women who will faithfully portray the inmost thoughts and feelings of the Negro with all the fire and romance which lie dormant in our history. I learned of Hopkins' fourth and final novel, Of One Blood, while reading another book, Afrofuturism, The World of Black Sci-Fi and Fantasy Culture. In the book, the author, Yatasha L. Womack, describes the main character and the plot of the story. To my surprise, it sounded like a certain movie that was an absolute blockbuster in the spring of 2018. Rather than me describe why, I'll let Professor Nicole Aljo explain. Enjoy.
So Pauline Hopkins is a fascinating character. She is, I would argue, a typical Bostonian in that she loved Boston, but she also seemed to have this wide variety of interests. She's living in Boston, traveling out to Cambridge. And then, as now, there are lots of talks, right, being held at MFA, at Harvard, at MIT. Hopkins would go to these talks, and she would, see Professor, so-and-so giving a talk about, hieroglyphics that he's discovered in, Egypt, that kind of thing. But she was really invested in racial uplift and in using all of the tools at her disposal, to try and convey to not only African Americans, but also the larger American public that Black culture, right, African culture is vivid, it's dynamic, it's compelling. There were, businessmen in particular who were invested, similar to today, invested in, helping the race uplift itself. So they invested in and created a publishing company called the Colored Cooperative Publishing Company, based in downtown Boston, and they were responsible for publishing the Colored American magazine. And that is the magazine that Hopkins was editor of. The magazine basically sought to be kind of like, I think I would describe it as kind of like a Life magazine, kind of a proto version of Life magazine for African Americans, around the turn of the 20th century. So lots of fiction, poetry, articles, news things, travel, vignettes, all sorts of really cool things. And then fiction, right, by Hopkins. The novel is called Of One Blood, The Hidden Self. So it has this really fascinating semicolon, right, subtitle. The main character is Rural Briggs, and he's a light-skinned African-American man who is passing as white. He's at Harvard, he's a medical student, so he has his friend, Aubrey, and Aubrey tells him, I have this excavation that I'm running in Meroe, so will you go and be in charge of this excavation? So Rural says yes, He ends up getting kind of kidnapped or drugged, but he's somehow hidden in this pyramid, which it turns out he is the long lost king of this hidden society that has been underneath this pyramid. And so when you actually go into the pyramid and you see the hidden society, it's this really wonderful proto-Wakanda society. And when I share this with my students lose their mind, because they're like, wait, we thought that that Black Panther was the first time that anyone had ever conceptualized of this complicated, complex African civilization. And no, Pauline Hopkins is doing it in 1903. And then when I physically bring them over here to the MFA to see, in particular, the large sculptures of Nubian figures, and then some of the stelae of the Candace figures, they are just struck with, well, first of all, the size of the figures and the heft, and the clear Africanness of the figures they're struck with. So reading someone like Hopkins, coming here to the MFA to see the objects that she's talking about, right, gives you a very different understanding of literature and fiction and fiction writing, right? Hopkins had never left the United States, but she is saying to fellow African Americans, this is within your possibility. That it's not just whites who can travel and write fiction and create art. It's also African Americans who can do this as well.
Finally, as noted by Hannah Wallinger in her book Pauline E. Hopkins, A Literary Biography, the silence enveloping Hopkins in her later years is a frustrating one. Her early career as a singer, playwright, and performer, and her later career as a writer and journalist were both dependent upon the presence of an audience. It must have demanded a high price on her part when she could not publish any longer. The hopes she had for the future and the effort she put into writing and publishing were shattered after she discontinued the New Era magazine in 1916. The fact that she managed to put out at least 2 issues speaks of her passionate commitment. The quality of the journal attests to her highly developed intellect and a restlessness that made it all possible. Her failure, however, if we can see it as one, speaks of the relentless world of business, where success is measured in financial, not ideological figures. If it is said that Hopkins failed in putting out more issues of the magazine or more of her own writing, this line of thinking can be reversed. She succeeded against great odds in doing what she did, editing 2 journals and publishing 4 novels, several short stories, 1 play, and numerous articles. The end, of course, belongs to Hopkins herself. She opens her Primer of Facts, the text that is reprinted along with this study, with a poem. Cities are not great except as men may make them. Men are not great except they do and dare. Yet cities, like men, have destinies that take them, that bear them on, not knowing why nor where. If Hopkins had known that her writing would survive into the 21st century, she would have felt that it only proved her thesis that history repeated itself and that excellence would prevail regardless of age, gender, and race. According to this belief, 2 words must be added to the epigraph to a Primer of Facts that she prints after this poem. The standing of any race is determined by its mighty works and its men and women of genius. Pauline Elizabeth Hopkins died in August of 1930 from burns received from a fire in her Boston residence. She was 71. Ma Keru. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Come and be with us.
There in the crying grass, there in the moaning rocks, the dead are not under the earth.
Jeff. I mean, you have taken it to a higher level. You have really, that sounds like something that was on PBS or something. That was top ranking. That was, oh, wow. That was top ranking. That was I think, and when I'm looking on the screen, everybody is saying that. Everybody's shaking their head like, yeah.
Right. Outstanding.
Outstanding. Yes. Yes, indeed. Let's have a little music. Let's livicate it to the sistren now.
Oh, okay, we're gonna do that. Okay.
Yeah, let me do this one. Yeah. All right.
Everywhere I'm turning, nothing seems complete. I stand up and I'm searching for the better part of me. I hang my head from sorrow so much. State of humanity. So wearing on my shoulders, gotta find strength in me. Why's that? 'Cause I am a superwoman. Yes, I am. Yes, she is. Still when I'm a mess, I still put on a vest with an S on my chest. Oh yes, I'm a superwoman. That's right. This is for all the mothers fighting, for better days to come. They coming. And all my women sitting here trying to come home before the sun. And all my sisters coming together, say yes I will, yes I can. Why's that? 'Cause I am a superwoman. Yes I am. Sing it out, man. Yes she is. Still when I'm a mess, still put on a vest with an S on my chest. Oh yes, I'm a superwoman. When I'm breaking down and I can't be found, 'cause I start to get weak, 'cause no one knows me underneath these clothes, but I can fly. We can fly. Oh, 'cause I am a superwoman. Yes, I am. Yes, she is. Still when I'm a mess, I still put on a vest with an S on my chest. Oh yes, I'm a superwoman. Yes, she is. Oh, let me tell you, I am a superwoman. Yes, I am. Yes, she is. Even when I'm a mess, I still put on a vest with an S on my chest. Oh yeah, I'm a superwoman. Yes, I am. And I'm a superwoman. Yes, you
All right. Now we will have Litany of Sacrifice by Baba Ed, Mama Tony.
Save us, O Holy One, by your name. Vindicate us by your might. Hear my prayer, divine protector. Listen to the words of my mouth. How can we repay the Holy One for the gifts that have been given to us? We will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon the God of our ancestors. We will fulfill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all of our people. Gladly we bring our sacrifices to you. We praise your name, O Amun-Ra, for it is good. Umoja, unity. We shall strive to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race.
Kujichagulia, self-determination. We shall define, name, create, and speak for ourselves.
Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We shall build and maintain our communities together. Our brothers and sisters' problems shall be ours to solve together.
Ujima, cooperative economics. Together, we shall build and maintain our own businesses and together profit from them.
Nia, purpose. We shall make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community and the restoration of our people to our traditional greatness.
Kaumba, creativity. We shall do as much as we can in any way we can to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it.
Imani, faith. We will believe with all our hearts in our God, our people, and in the righteousness
and victory of our struggle.
Most High, bless this offering. Let it be used to bring our people together. Help us to continue our journey on the path of Maat is my prayer. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Jay. Thank you, Mama Tony, Baba Ed. And now it is the time for our message. And every time that our minister comes and gives the message, I always learn something. She really goes deep into the teachings of our ancestors, and she really absorbs and she's able to transmit what she has gleaned from the scriptures by spiritual experience and personal experience. Sisters and brothers, let us open our hearts and minds to receive the message from Minister Alicia Lovelady Teasley.
Ashe. Greetings, everyone. Greetings, fam. First, a quick prayer. Most High, let your spirit guide, let your word abide. May my words be lotus blossoms that encourage all of the souls I meet to reach for greater heights. May my words speak with your breath and sing your sweet song of life. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Amen and Ashe. So today, folks and family, today, okay, so originally, I always like to tell the backstory of how I come up with this stuff because it amazes me. And that's why I tell the story, because sometimes it just amazes me how things come. So originally, me and my mom were talking about, the division between the spirit and the soul, and that they're not the same, although sometimes, they're used interchangeably, those words. And so I was thinking of those things, and that's what I was going to bring. But then yesterday, family, I was with a couple of you. Yesterday, I went to Brother Jabari and Sister Asali's Healthy Life is in Style workshop. And it was excellent, by the way. And I had a lot of great takeaways from this, but one thing that had illuminated to me, it was something I had been mulling over before, like it would come as a question or a thought. But you know, it wasn't until yesterday's workshop that I kind of, you know, got a interest in it even deeper. So first, before I let you know what that was, I'm gonna go and read our freedom writings, which, and I used this recently, but I'm using it again because it can work in so many different ways and in different applications in our life. In the prologue of 2000 Seasons, it says on page 13, in the prologue, that no spring changes the desert. The desert remains. The spring runs dry. Not one spring, not 30, not 1,000 springs will change the desert. For that change floods. The waters of the universe in unison, flowing not to coax the desert, but to overwhelm it, ending its regime of death. Not a single perishable spring is the necessity. And then I want to also read from the Hosea, page 19, number 6, where it says, "Now I call on you from the ends of the earth, O Amun-Ra. All that I have done was for love of you. O Father Amun-Ra, I cry out to you, for I am in the midst of many enemies, and the whole of this land is against me. I am alone and my only defense. For my many soldiers have deserted me, my chariots refuse to remain with me. Though I called out to them, there was none who responded to my call. Now I cry out to you, O Ra, and I find that you, Ra, are most helpful to me than millions of soldiers, more than hundreds of thousands of chariots, more than thousands of brothers and sons, all put together. For the effort of many is not compared to the majesty and might of Amun-Ra." Then said Pharaoh, or Per'ah, Ramesses II, "Now though I prayed in a distant land, my voice resounded in southern On. I found Amun-Ra came when I called him. He gave to me his hand, and I found my heart strong and full of joy. And all I did succeeded." Ashe. And our theme and our topic today is your attention. Your attention is a weapon in spiritual warfare. Your attention. I'm turning on my timer because you know I can talk for a while. Okay, so back to yesterday. So we were talking about ways of making and creating healthy habits. And on one side, you know, he was talking about how you can create, you know, the different healthy habits and what needs to be done. He gave us a couple of, like, a slide, and it was talking about having a support system, having accessibility, prompting or sensory cues, and affirmations, validations to take action. Those things he was saying would be good for building healthy habits. And then he showed, like, the opposite side, what happens when we have, you know, bad habits and things of that nature. And then it came to me that, you know, there was really nothing in place that can help you to build and keep strong your healthy habits, not coming in from the outside, the mainstream. Because as you get one commercial saying that you can, you know, hey, let's eat these healthy vegetables, you get 15 and 30 other commercials saying, hey, here's the McDonald's, hey, here's some soda, go down to your local this, or shop here, or those things that are coming in from the outside that's giving us negativity, that's hurting our bodies. We even get commercials on drugs. Now, we all know a lot of these pharmaceuticals, they are drugs. So we get commercials for those too. Are you feeling depressed? Just take this. You know, all of those things, instead of saying, oh, if you eat this or if you change your lifestyle, you might be little bit better, to loosen up your life, to lighten up your mood, they say, take this drug, and your arm might fall off, or you might find all your hair is going to be, all of this stuff will happen, but you won't be depressed anymore. They give us all of these things, and they in a lie that says, okay, well, this is good for you, you should do this. And so with every hundreds of thousands of those, we get the one, oh, eat your vegetables, and so it's nothing of support that we have. The people around us are struggling with the same things that we're struggling with. So really, the things have to come from within. That attention to detail of doing better for ourselves has to come from within. And when I was looking at attention is the act of directing the mind to listen, see, or understand, directing the mind to take notice. It's deliberate. It can often include your brain's ability to be aware of your surroundings. Attention acts as the gateway to processing and storing information in our memory, a core cognitive process that enables us to select and to prioritize relevant stimulus, helping us to make informed decisions. Attention helps us to create memories and to avoid distractions. And so attention does all of these things. Our attention is our most precious resource. What we give our attention to is our most important choice in life, as it can profoundly shape our thinking and our lives. And it can affect our mood and our well-being, all these things that we're paying attention to. So if our attention is so precious, if our attention wasn't so precious, then why would people be spending billions and billions of dollars in order to get our attention, in order to keep our attention, in order for us to pay attention, right? They have the algorithms, the social media, all the advertisements, all that money spent just to keep a person's mind attentive on whatever it is that they want to sell you, whatever it is that they want to tell you, or to show us these lies while they're doing something undercover over here. So unhealthy things, we were talking about unhealthy things and how easy they are to get, how easy they are to come about, and how many more of those there are than just things that are good for us and healthy for us. Just like where I live right now, sometimes I go to a store, Nugget, and that Nugget is kind of like a healthier food store. And you can go there and you can get fresh juices and things of that nature. So that's what I usually go there to get. However, that store is about 12 minutes driving from where I live. And in between me and that store there are 2 McDonald's, there's a Wendy's, a Carl's Jr., 5 gas stations filled with unhealthy items, and a corner store that I'd never go there. So it's like all of these things are in between me and just trying to get a healthy, fresh juice, if I don't have it in my home already. You don't have anybody who stops you or limits you or says that you're doing something harmful, because it's not kind of socially unacceptable to do that, because we're all adults and people are making their choices. So we can kind of assume that this brother or sister might know that smoking is bad. They're just doing it because they're still doing it, not because they don't know that it's bad for them. You don't have anybody intervening. That's when you were a child and your parents intervened with you doing things that were not healthy for you, hopefully. And so some friends will warn you after you've made a total mess of your life, after everything is really glaring and blaring. Like if you were someone who does a lot of drinking, then by the time that your friends say, hey, this needs to stop, you've already messed up your liver, you've already burned a bunch of bridges, you've already spent up a lot of money on your alcohol. It's not something that they're consistently like, hey, maybe that's a little bit too much, every time. And you can just watch one episode of 600 Pound Life and see that somebody should have stopped. Somebody 100 pizzas ago, 100 Twinkies ago, 100 cookies ago. Somebody should have said something before that time. So we know that these things keep coming at us, and a lot of people are susceptible to them. So we have everyone vying for our attention because our paying attention can get them paid. Things look familiar when we are shopping so that we or our children will pick them up. Like we see this commercial over and over again for this brand of whatever. So when we're shopping, we're like, well, this looks familiar and this looks familiar. Oh yeah, I saw this on a commercial. I really like that jingle. And we end up just picking it up, sometimes unconsciously, a lot of times because there's so many different products that we just go for the one that we see most. And so a lot of times it's these things coming at us over and over and over again. Have you ever heard a song that you didn't like at first? And then because you kept hearing it, after a while you was just jamming like, oh, hey, yeah. And at first you did not like that song. But because of the repetitive nature and the time that they often like continuously play it every hour you hear it, it becomes familiar. And then after a while you're jamming to the beat, you're singing the words, right? So those are the things that we have to guard against. Because when and then when we see where there's drama on the political scene, we pay so much attention to that, we don't see them underhandedly passing laws and bills under our noses while we're looking at whatever they put on the media, on the news, like, oh my goodness, did you hear that this happened? Oh my gosh, did you hear about this happen? And they're passing bills and passing laws against us. But Minister Alicia, what does attention have to do with spiritual warfare? Glad you asked. Okay, so at Med Kids Camp, things I teach the children, I teach the children I teach the children the 10 virtues. And in Solar Legacy, we learn that the main part of the mystery system is the salvation of the soul that is chained by fetters. And in order to conquer these fetters and liberate yourself, one must follow the 10 virtues in order to make development possible. This is not development itself, but in order to make the development possible, you have to be able to live by the 10 virtues. And these are things that people are not even attempting to do these days. We have the outside world not even in an attempt to control their thoughts, to control their actions, to have devotion of purpose. So when you're doing that, you're looking like the outcast. You're looking like someone outside, looking in like, whoa, what's up? So we talk at the camp about controlling thoughts and actions. And one way to control your thoughts is through meditation. And the other is through discernment of what goes in the mind to begin with. What we pay attention to. If you're giving negativity your undivided attention, after a while you cannot help but to be inundated with negative thoughts. And those negative thoughts are going to inform your decisions and your actions. So if you keep listening to the news, you keep listening to stuff that's negative, that's what's swirling around in your mind. And all of that negativity is going to come out through your actions. Well, I did this because of this. I did that because of that. Sometimes you do things and you don't even really know why you did it. But it's because you're busy listening to something that may be negative. Or you're busy listening to something that may be against someone. When you listen to gossip. When you listen to gossip about other people and you don't even know that person. After a while, you start getting emotions of yourself like, I don't even like her. Oh my goodness. I don't even like that person. And you don't know that person. You're just hearing it from your friend. Your friend is talking. And you just listen to all the gossip. Oh, she did what? Oh, he did what? Oh my goodness. No, I could never. And then after a while, you have negative feelings towards that person every time you see him. It's these things that we let our minds get inundated with. These things that we pay attention to. If your friends come at you with some gossip that's negative, do not pay attention. They will stop. There you go. That's just as easy as that. Don't pay attention to that. After a while, they will stop talking to you about their garbage and their other things. So what we give our attention to can definitely be a weapon in spiritual warfare. In the story of Asar, Aset, and Haru, Aset gave her full attention to finding the body of her husband Asar, and she found it once, and then hid it. And then while she was away, Set found it and cut it into 14 pieces, which Aset had to once again give her full attention to finding each piece and putting it and remembering it back together again, which is why she has the characteristics of devotion of purpose, because she had to be devoted in order to find it one time and then lose it and then have to go looking around for pieces to gather it together to make her husband whole again. How many times have we had to, we're looking for something and we find it and then we lose it again and we just give up? We're just like, hey, that thing ain't for me because every time I find it, I keep losing it. How many times does that happen? We have to have devotion of purpose. My purpose is that I need to have this. My purpose is that I need to remember these things back together. So if your purpose is to remember these things back together so that we can remember who we are and place Asar on the throne, which means the indwelling intelligence is the one that's running our life, we want to make sure that he stays there, devoted to making sure that he stays there. So paying attention among such noise is not easy. The noise of the world. And I want to read to you in 2000 Seasons. It's a 282, 283 in my version. My version looks like this. I know that there's different ones which the page numbers can be different. So it is in the chapter 7, The Voice. And we're talking about Dovey. Dovey was not ignorant. His mind knew the possibility of the way, saw the inherent beauty of a new life, lived together with other minds dedicated to finding paths against the white destroyer's road, against the white promise of our perdition. But joined to a creator's mind, Dovey had a consumer's feelings, dense, heavy, crass, even their energy a lumpen force, their inertia dragging his uncertain mind from the immediate difficulty of the tasks of creation, enticing him to let his soul sink sweetly into the solidity of the present, potent ugliness of the destroyer's white road. He saw the choice before him. We held out to him a companionship whose root was not in the potency of perishable things, but simply in the mind's recognition of our own good, even in the present time of our continuing destruction. This is no companionship with matters for attracting heavy bodies in their downward motion to their graves. This is no dance for zombies. Ours is a companionship of the mind, willing to find our way again, against the luring softness of immediate situations made garish by the white destroyers. The better to blind unwary lookers, ours is a companionship of the spirit, willing to use its energy to survive the immediate harshness of efforts to find liberating paths to our way, the way. So our appeal was to Dovey's mind. Being such, it depended, so pathetic, yes, is the first dependence, that necessary dependence of all creation's beings, on the strength of his mind, on how clearly, how constantly that mind itself felt, called to a vocation along the way. But the call of death, the white destroyer's overwhelming noise, is powerful beyond the resistance, even of the creator's mind. In this present situation, if the creator had been trapped alone in spirit, the call of death is a multiple call, a noise of triumphant loudness, potent because it does not need dependence on any delicate beauty of the mind's recognition. The white road is a triumphant now because it is not attached to the long, difficult striving of the soul against the simple mortality of the flesh it inhabits. The white destroyer's noise is a heavy appeal. The call of stone a leaden beckoning to flesh already inclined to death. Locked to the heavy body's every craving, the white road rejoices in the use of all the abundant energies servant to such craving. That is one root of death's potency. So we see that even in a mind that desires to want to do the right thing, to desires to walk the road of the way, they still have the outside being so loud, calling to them, asking for their attention, demanding their attention, demanding, hey, look over here, look over here. And the other things that's happening that are going on along our road, it's always calling for our attention. So using our attention as a weapon of spiritual warfare is important, because we are in the middle of warfare. Give God your attention. Attention is directing the mind to listen, see, understand, to take notice. So make it a habit to listen for and listen to God's voice. Put God's word in your mind so that when you hear it or you see it, it will resonate with your spirit. Let Maat guide your attention. Truth, justice, reciprocity, balance, order, propriety, and harmony. Put the divine laws in place in your life and do it on purpose. You direct your mind to find balance in living. You direct your mind to not just see the beauty of reciprocity or use it as a conscious word to say, but actually live it. Actually live it. Give as you receive. Propriety is honoring one another's place in the whole grand scheme of things. Everyone is on their journey. You may be farther along than the next, but that doesn't mean you are better or more worthy. Bob Marley said the biggest man that you ever did see was once a baby in his life. And harmony, put your attention on living in tune with the earth. This is all spiritual warfare. If you can take my attention to lower my vibrations, you can have my actions, you have my purpose, you have my decisions, you have my relationships, you have my health, you have my mental wellness. This is spiritual warfare. And that's all from just taking my attention. Just by somebody grabbing my attention, all the things that I may have been working for or may have thought I was doing well could be lost. But because I pay attention to the Most High, I can assure you that this is spiritual warfare. So in Ephesians 6:12, and most of us have heard this before, that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of the world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. The principalities are evil powers that threaten people's heavenly and earthly state. It is the nation that opposes God. That is what we're battling up against. We're battling up against the rulers of darkness, top level of evil spiritual forces like the demonic armies. And wickedness. Wickedness is profound evil committed consciously, that when you commit evil, you do it consciously and of your free will. That's the wickedness. And those are things that we're battling up against. We're not battling up against people's flesh and blood. We're not going up there and I'm going to make sure I punch you and all that kind of stuff, because we're punching up against nuclear weapons. We're punching up against the AK-47, but in the spiritual realm, we have our power. We have our power because we have banked and banked and banked, so much bank in the spiritual realm. That's where we are fighting, because it is not that human being, it's the demonic powers that have taken over him. It's the ones that he's given attention to. If a person keeps giving attention to these demonic forces, they're going to be acting in certain ways as to not be in harmony with the rest of society, to not be in harmony with the earth. They're going to be saying things that are lies and things that are evil attempts to deceive the masses because they're paying attention to the wrong things. They're giving their attention over. And like I said, once you give your attention over, every single thing, your health, your relationships, your decisions that you're making, your purpose in life, your mental wellness. I read a story about a person who was in the middle of COVID, and they kept looking at all the statistics. At first they were fine, and they were like, okay, yeah, okay, we have to stay home. But as they're looking at all of this social media and the statistics about people dying and all the negativity and all this stuff, they started to get depressed. Their depression was taking over because all they were putting in their mind was the negativity and the stuff that was going on and all the stuff that they could not do anything about. They couldn't do anything about it, but it was depressing them in their mind. And so until they took the time, they said, okay, I'm turning it all off. They were able to slowly recover their mind. They were able to slowly be able to think clearly and see the sun again. And a lot of us go through that. We watch this, we listen to this person, and all of that stuff we give our attention to, the negativity overwhelms us. So we need to recognize that the enemy wants your attention. The battle will come in a personal attack. Amun-Ra stands as your protection and has given us spiritual armor and weapons. We have to pay attention to God. We have to pray. Resist the noise. Declare the truth. When our ancestors said, know yourself, it wasn't just, oh, I know what my name is and I know it. No, know who you are. Know yourself. Know what would you do in this circumstance. Know that you know your character. Know these things about yourself. Then nobody can't tell you different. When you know who you are, nobody can tell you different. Turn away from the enemy. Think on things that are true, honorable, right, pure, lovely. Show love and give gratitude. Those are high vibrational things to do, especially when you're in the midst of some turmoil. If you're busy giving gratitude, if you're busy showing love, all of that stuff on the other side, it's not gonna permeate your being so much because you're giving attention to what's high and what's good. Because we are ineffective people when we are sick, when we are tired, when we are distracted, when we are divided. And that's what all that stuff on the outside is having us do.
I see.
It's making us pick up things and put it in our mouth when we don't want to do it. But we still do it because we're inundated ourselves with all this and giving our attention to what's negative. These things make us vulnerable to attacks. It's like they're coming at us so much and then they're like, finish him, like on the video games, finish him. And they're like, trying to take you down with the McDonald's and trying to take you down with the soda and trying to take you down with all the negativity, trying to take you down with the news. They're giving us 1-2 punches. But we know that we have on our full armor. We know the Most High. We know who we are ourselves. We know these things. We hear them in the Hosea, like on page 19. On page 18, where it says, I take not the powerful as a protector. I depend not on those with wealth, and I place not my life under the strong arm of another. For my wealth and my strength are in the house of my Lord. My Lord is my protector. I know his might. Indeed, he is a helper, strong of arm, and none is truly strong but he. We see it on in the Hosea, page 20, where it says, your name, Amun-Ra, will be a protection for the body of anyone who is alone. It is the salvation and health for those on the water and deliverance from the crocodile. The crocodile is one that's not always seen. The crocodile is a sneak up and attack.
Peace. Yes.
It is to remember Ra in the time of turmoil, which is what we're in right now. For he is a deliverance from the mouth of the aggressive. we look at it in the Hosea on page 23, where it says, Amun-Ra is magic, words of power over water, when his name is set above the deep. And the crocodile has no power when a person calls his name. These are our protections.
Yes.
Against the things, the dangers that we see and those that we don't see. The things that we have to remember to keep our minds on the Most High. Put Ma'at before us as action. Let Ma'at be our eyes, the breath of our nostrils, our teeth, what we eat, what we consume. What we consume should be all of the words of the Most High. That's how we vibrate high. And that's where we get our power. Because we see right here, it says Amun-Ra is magic. Those words of power, the Heka. When his name is set above the deep. It's deep up in here, y'all.
Yeah.
It's deep. There's crocodiles everywhere.
Yeah.
Even when we don't think there's crocodiles and things that are coming to get us, they're there. They might look like a log, but that's a crocodile coming to get you.
Yes.
So we have to overwhelm our minds. Just like we were talking about before in the beginning of 2000 seasons about overwhelming the desert. Yes. We have to overwhelm our minds with the Most High, with his vibrations, with God's words, God's light, God's peace, God's truth, God's goodness. And let the fruits of our spirit be light and nourishment to all of humanity. It's not just for us. The fruits of our spirit are for God's children. Let them eat from the fruits of the spirit, when they will find the golden ones, when they will find the ones of light, and they will be able to have nourishment for the rest of the humanity, to give them strength as well, to be able to resist all of these things. So, amen. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. Amen.
Ashe.
This is what I'm talking about.
Ashe. Yes, indeed.
This is the message. So, you know, she just didn't do this for exercise and intellectual pursuit. She gave us a message to think about for the rest of the week. She gave us a message to think about next time we see a commercial, or next time we're viewing a distraction.
Yeah.
And she took the baton from yesterday's experience with Isali and Jabari, because it's a continuum. Not one spring, not two springs, not 30, not 1,000, but us coming together to overwhelm the desert. Give thanks for that message today, Alicia. I know that as I look around, you know, I may miss someone, but I think everybody here is a member. But let us listen to a few bars of this song, and then we'll come back with Lift Every Voice and sing. But we're extending the invitation to you today. If you would like to become a member formally, we extend the invitation to you today. This song says, Seeking Reality.
said a love supreme's awakened. Down in your heart, it's time to do your part. Keep seeking reality, that's what he said. Keep loving the truth with all your heart and soul. Keep seeking reality, that's right. And you'll find the truth within. So I give me a little one drop on the heartbeat style. Let me just chant them up like this. Every single day now, every single day, got me seeking reality. Every single day now, every single day, got me searching for my destiny. Slamming and jamming and skanking and bubbling and making do all God's children are free. Chanting identity with my hyphen until eternity. Dog, I'm seeking reality. Heavenly Father, seeking reality. Oh, oh yes, seeking reality. Yes, seeking reality. Every single day now, every single day, say subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Say subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Every single day, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. I'm seeking reality. Heavenly Father, seeking reality. Oh, oh yes, seeking reality. Yes, seeking reality. Come on now.
Give thanks to Rudy Rosie, seeking reality. Yes, indeed.
Every day, all day.
Every day, all day. That's true. Yes, indeed. So some comments in the chat says, wow, so powerful. Teach, Minister Alicia. Ashe, beware the silent attack. Yes, say that. Beautiful message, Minister Alicia. Great message, Minister Alicia. The analogies, your energy, and those ankh earrings. Ashe, oh, Ashe, mama. Ashe for that message. Most excellent. Ashe,
Awesome.
3,
Awesomely
4 exclamation mark.
Yes.
Wonderful message, Minister Alicia. All right, give thanks. Great message.
Yes, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
To say the least, it was
that is
awesome.
awesome. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And right on time. And right on time.
And
right on time.
Yes,
oh my goodness.
Yes, indeed. All right. Though none have come forward, the message was proclaimed in a powerful and magnificent way. We give thanks for the hearing. We give thanks for the teacher, the teachings. And sisters and brothers, we're going to close with our African national anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. And we're going to ask Minister Alicia to close after the song, Lift Every Voice.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as
now and to the ones able to lift us up faultlessly before the throne on high. May they empower us to be one people.
One people.
With one aim.
One
aim.
One destiny.
One
destiny.
One love.
One
One love.
One heart.
One heart.
One heart.
And one God.
One
And one God.
Let us call upon the name of that one God as our elders and our ancestors have done for countless times and for time immemorial. Let us all sing. Thank you, Mr. Makalisi. And you are the most beautiful people on the face of this earth. And probably too.
I see.